Hey, what's up YouTube community? Morgan Edwards here. Today I'm going to discuss with you the viability of Uber Eats, whether it's a job that you could earn money from, or whether it is something that you could have as a side hustle. And so it is something that I have been doing since January. I've reached 100 orders, which I am excited about. And so I thought I would share my journey with you guys in case you were looking for either a side gig or a really replacement of an income. Now, just straight out of the bat, Uber Eats will probably not replace a full income. It definitely doesn't replace my full income as a teacher. However, it does give a decent amount of pay for me to provide for my family, putting a roof over a house and food on the table. So in this video, I'm going to go through the pros of Uber Eats, the cons, and also I'm going to take you on a couple of deliveries to show you what it's really like. And finally, I'm going to give a price breakdown of how much I earn per hour, minus costs of fuel, etc. Because I know there's a lot of people out there, or at least some people out there, that go, hey, I'm not even going to try it because you're probably on less than minimum wage. Even before I started, I read an article going, you're probably on $12 an hour. But my brother was doing it and he was actually quite successful in terms of he could actually earn a decent amount of money. So I'm going to take you through it and show you. Actually, I should share with you for the first 9 hours, I reckon for 9 hours, you could be on about $80 per hour. And that is not a word of a lie. I did that for the first 9 hours. And so I'm going to show you how to do that, which is great. So without further ado, let's just get straight into this. So the first pro is that it's guaranteed money. Uber pays weekly. If you have an expense coming up next week, you can just go and do work. So you don't have to wait for a shift to come up from your employer or anything. If you want work, you can just go and do it. And then you get paid next week. So it's actually really good in terms of controlling or managing a budget, I guess. That if you want work, you can just go and accept more work or do more shifts when you want to. And vice versa, if you don't want work, you don't have to. The second one is the sign-up bonus. And the sign-up bonus is where you get to that $80 per hour sort of income for the first 9 hours. So on average, for me to do 10 deliveries, it takes me 3 hours. So for 30 deliveries, it will take me 9 hours to do 30 deliveries. The sign-up bonus basically says from the time of signing up, if you are brand new to Uber Eats, and you live in a capital city of Australia, then you can get an additional $500 to what you earn on top for completing 30 deliveries in 90 days. Now, if you're thinking, 9 hours, that'll probably take me 1 or 2 days, you're probably right, okay? And so you can probably earn that $500 in a couple of days. And that is why in 9 hours to get 30 deliveries, a couple of days, you can earn somewhere around $700 plus, really, realistically. So I would recommend even doing it just to get the sign-up bonuses. Do 30 deliveries and then just stop after that if you want to. Because $80 an hour, that's a lot. That is a lot of money. The third pro is that you don't need any training, and this is the benefit. There are a couple of modules, don't get me wrong, that you've got to go through. They're pretty quick, but you don't need a college education or anything like that. You just need to know how to drive a car. Or you can actually do a scooter or bicycle as an option as well. Cars are a lot more comfortable though. Just drive a car, pick up the food, drop it off. That's as easy as it is. You don't need any sort of education or degree or training to do that. Number 4 is work around your schedule. And so if you want work, you can go out and get work. If you don't want work, you can say no. You don't need to put on leave or anything else. You just turn the app on when you want work, turn it off when you don't want it. It's as simple as that. Number 5 is you don't need the jab. Unless you're in a state of Australia that requires you to have the jab to enter restaurants or takeaway shops. So basically in South Australia, we don't need that. If you are in, say, WA, you probably won't be able to do this unless you're vaccinated. So yeah, it's something for you to consider what you can do in your state or region. And if that's a thing that you worry about, for me, it's something that's why I'm not teaching at the moment. But I'm able to do that in South Australia. I'm able to go into restaurants, pick up food and drop it off. That's no issues. On that note, basically there's no contract anyway. So even dropping off food, you don't even see the person because you just drop it off their food, straight drop it off at the door, take a picture and leave, and that's it. So it is sort of like a no contact delivery system. It's really good, I guess. Yeah, and so that's number 5. Number 6 is the bonus discount. So when you do orders, you get points, and the more points, the further the discounts. But even with only doing your first order, you're already on some discounts like 6 cents per litre off at Ampol, 15% off Bridgestone tyres, 10% off Super Cheap Auto, and the higher or the more points you go, the more deliveries, the bigger the discount. So something to benefit. I probably wouldn't sign up just for the discounts, but it's definitely worth it. Like it's an added bonus, basically, put it that way. So now we're going to discuss the downsides of Uber Eats. The first one is some hours you won't be able to earn much or any money. And so when you get the haters saying, oh, you're on minimum wage or less than minimum wage, generally that would be the case if you go out and work when people are not ordering food. So if I'm going out at 3 p.m. and working 2 hours to 5 p.m., I may get 1 or 2 orders and that's it. Because no one's ordering food at that time. It's logical. But if you stick to key food periods where people order food, which is sort of like 12 to 2 and 5 to 8, you're pretty good. Or even at 10 p.m., a lot of people want Maccas. I know it can be busy if you want to actually go and work late at night. So if you're trying to replace a full day 9 to 5, you'll probably earn a bit less than if you're just targeting key busy areas. So that's just something to keep in mind. Then second con is you do need transport of some sort or a car. And so if you're someone who always relies on public transport and does not have a car that is registered, then you won't be able to really do this unless you do it on a bike or scooter. But anyway, you can look into it if that's you. The third reason is your car is going to smell like takeaway. And so because you're delivering food, it's takeaway. You've got smells in your car going out. And so when you jump in your car the next morning, I actually kind of like it. They smell like, it's like pizza. But you may not like that smell in your car. So that can be a con. The fourth is that you'll need a national police check, and that costs $40. So not hard to get because it's just paying sort of a fee and they do the rest through the Uber sign-up process. So, but it is $40 out of the pocket before you even start delivering. And so that may be a hindrance or just a turn-off to go, I've got to pay $40 before I even make $1. But trust me, it's worth it. The next is you'll need an ABN as well. And if you don't have one, you need to get one to Uber Eats Deliver. Now, this is actually free. So you can just Google search, I guess, Australian business number and register a business number for you. Very easy, free to do. It just sits there and you'll just give that to Uber and they will do the rest for you. So it's not so much a downside, but it is just something to keep in mind that you do need to Uber Eats. And the final thing is you need to purchase a cooler bag if you do not have one already. I've got an Esky that keeps everything cool or hot, and I already had that from picnics and stuff, but if you have no bag, then you will need one. So these are the 6 downsides, the 6 pros that I could really find, all the key ones for Uber Eats delivery. So I'll give you an indication of what I generally earn out of my 100 deliveries. I generally get between $20 and $30 an hour, and that's before tips, because in Australia we don't really tip. It's not like the US. And so before tips, if you get tips, great. That will probably add on bonus. And before promotions, like the sign-up bonus, or Uber Eats always do promotionals. Like I said, you do 30 deliveries, you get additional $45 or something, and that's common. Like Uber Eats always have promotional periods going to add on to your income, so it adds to a bit more. So I'm going to go and take you on some trips. Let's go. Okay, so just opening up the Uber app, ready to start delivering, and then I press go. It will come up with some pre-COVID precautions, and so you just got to tick and make sure that you've sanitized, that you've got a mask, and that you do not have any symptoms or flu symptoms. and you're safe to go. Sometimes it will require you to take a picture of yourself just to confirm that it is you delivering the food and not someone else, and start driving. Delivery will pop up and you can accept it or decline it if you want, and it'll show you exactly where to go. So once you click accept, it goes straight away into maps to drive you to the location of the pickup. It will require mobile data to be turned on, and Bluetooth sometimes helps as well. So putting the mask on as we go into the restaurant, and then you just go and pick up. Basically, if it's ready, they will just have a look at the number or the name on your phone. And in this case, it wasn't quite ready, so just having to wait. And you can leave feedback as well with the restaurant. You can go into the order to see what's specifically ordered. You don't need to check the order or anything. The restaurant does that. But you can go and see what they have ordered. And then, so in this case, at McDonald's often they're quite busy and short of staff, so you do end up waiting, but not always. Anyway, now I've got the order. I swipe start delivery, and straight away it takes me into Google Maps and directs me to the person's house. I carefully get their food out of the bag and then walk up to the door to drop it off. So it is a contactless delivery. Sometimes the person will come out because they will see on the app that you are there. More cases than not, they will stay in their house until you have actually driven away for whatever reason. So maybe to avoid any awkwardness, if there is any awkwardness in that. So it does require you to take a photo, or you can skip and add a note, or you can take a photo and add a note. I often knock on the door before I leave to let them know that their food is there. If they come out, I just say, have a good one. Maybe it increases your chances of getting a tip if you are friendly. And so, yeah, you basically I just message that I've done the delivery. About 5 seconds or 10 seconds later, it will pop up that the money is now in your Uber app. And it tracks all your deliveries that you do as well, so you can look at later. And then it starts searching again for more deliveries unless one has already come up. In this case, now I've got one. I can see what restaurants, if I want to accept it or not. In this case, I do accept it. And there is actually 2 deliveries on this order. Now, it takes me to the middle of an intersection, so the GPS coordinates aren't quite right. There are instructions that you can read about where the shop is actually located. And so in this case, I know that it's in the Golden Grove Centre. And there's 2 orders, so you can see the 2 names there as well. So as I walk in, I know that I'm picking up 2 orders, and I've got to make sure I've got both of them before I leave. Do not want to just take one and leave. Then I'll have issues with coming back and getting the other one, which won't be good and a big waste of time. So as I go in, I show the person the 2 orders, I confirm the names, and put them in my call bag. Say thank you and leave. This one I actually do put a thumbs up. They're really nice and quick, which is good. And most restaurants are really quick. So before I can go start delivery, I tick the 2 boxes, or the 2 people's names. They've got 2 different orders. And when I get to the person's house, or the first person's house, it actually says whose order it is, so I know whose order. And the restaurant will usually write their name as well on the bag, so you don't get mixed up with orders. And so I go and drop it off at the door, come back, send a picture and say it's been delivered, and then it automatically takes me to the next person which I have dropped off. Or in this case, sometimes you also can get pickups from 2 different restaurants. And so you can do one pickup from one restaurant, then you go to the next restaurant to do another pickup. In this case, I have no idea where this restaurant is. It's somewhere in the centre, and I found it just by reading the instructions that was next to Drake's. Pick up this order, put in the bag with my hockey and noodles order, and then off I go. Sometimes I will turn down orders knowing that it's far away or a pain in the butt to get to, because it's not really worth the time or the money. What I love about this job is that you do get good views. and it's just kind of peaceful driving around and easy to do. It's not really a stressful job, which is great. So I'm just adding a note after I've dropped this order off, mainly because the person came out to get it, so I didn't get a chance to take a picture. Another order has come in after I've dropped those off and I've accepted. Again, it's at a McDonald's and I end up waiting, which is not unusual. So I can click not available or not ready. Once I've done that per time that I go out, sometimes it won't let me do it again. But I can report, say it's long waits, just so Uber know that it's long waits there. Now in this case, I'm actually declining that. I can let it run out of time, or I can press the exit button, and I do for this one as well. And that's because I actually want to go and pick something up from the shops. And so now I can go and look at all the orders I've done. Been on the road for an hour 54, I've done 7 deliveries, 17 points towards discounts, essentially. I can go down and look at all the breakdown of all my orders, or my wife can go through and check all the orders. She always finds it interesting of where I've been, not in a stalkerish way, it's just kind of fun. And tips show up as well if you do get any tips. In this case, I didn't get any tips, but they do show up. Time to time, I find dinner runs, you generally get more tips. I've done 100 deliveries, which is actually quite exciting. You don't get anything from completing 100, but that's kind of cool. There are promotions if you want to make use of them, and then I'm finishing and just pressing stop, and that ends my Uber delivering. Okay, so now that you have seen 2 hours or close to 2 hours of me Ubering, I've done 7 deliveries in that time. I drove 38 kilometers and I earned a total of $48.34. That will be deposited into my bank next week, just from that delivery. Now, when I factor in my kilometers and price of fuel, so price of fuel, say $1.60, it goes lower, it goes higher, that's just sort of an average. 8 liters of fuel in my car per 100 kilometers. I used about close to $5 of fuel, 3 liters, $5 of fuel. My $24.17 an hour after fuel expense goes down to about $20 per hour. Now that is before any tips, and in these 7 deliveries I didn't actually get any tips. I find dinner time's actually a lot better for tips. I went out at lunchtime, and also that's before any promotional periods with Uber. So if I complete 20 deliveries, so if I do an additional 13, then I get additional $30 on top, which will bring my income a little bit higher. And so if you want to do Uber Eats delivering, totally recommend it, particularly for that $500 sign-up bonus. Use my referral link, sign up, do 30 deliveries, you'll get an additional $500, which will probably round you out at close to $80 an hour, maybe $75 after you've taken fuel or car costs that you might have. It's such easy work. I'm just driving to drop off food that I can think or listen to music along the way. I don't stress about it. I just do it, and it's kind of fun and easy, and it just provides some income to really do those extra things with my family that I want to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something from it. Please like or share this video to someone who needs it at this time, if they're struggling with what to do because of government restrictions and unable to get work. Then yeah, please share this along, because this may help them, and it is a great option to at least buy time. You know, put some money in the bank to buy time until you find something permanent, if this isn't a permanent option for you. Thanks again for watching. I hope you got something out of it, and yeah, subscribe if you want more videos. I'm going to come out with 1 video a week of one way we are either investing or creating income, because my one job as a teacher has gone, and so we're trying to find, well, I am finding a number of different areas to provide like 50 or 100 or a few $100 a week income. So anyway, if you want any advice on money, I guess, please subscribe, follow along. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you next time.